stage also. What is the proof? The Mimamsakas. The Mimamsakas, they did not accept the transcendental state. They only believe the Vyavaharika state. So Shankaracharya had to fight against Mimamsaka to establish that the Atman, the existence of Atman in the Vyavaharika stage also. So this is one very important point we have to understand.
Can I ask a question? So Maharaj, as you're saying that Shankaracharya established that Jagat Mithya Jivan Brahma Shatva Jagat Jivan Mithya, but Maharaj, Thakur repeatedly said in many occasions that Brahma Shatva Jagat Mithya. So is it like a contradictory, or he meant the same thing?
Thakur nowhere said Brahma Shatva Jagat Mithya. Nowhere he said that.
There was a story that one person came and said that, can you explain to me Brahma in one sentence, and then Thakur said Brahma Shatva Jagat Mithya.
Thakur said, your Vedanta is saying Brahma Shatva Jagat Mithya. In this way he presented, that your Vedanta is saying Brahma Shatva Jagat Mithya. What is there in Vedanta? Vedanta says this. But Thakur accepted 100% Jagat. And actually Vedanta doesn't ignore Jagat. It is only the argument, logical argument you can establish there is no existence of Jagat. Logical argument. Actually, in this book, in verse number 232. If you go 232 of this book, you can find 231 and 32. You can find here it is says Brahma Shatva Jagat Mithya in the verse number 231 and 32 in this book. But it is again written by Shankaracharya and it is Prakarana. So it is post Shankara development. So anyway, the main purpose is not to establish, not to emphasize Jagat Mithya. We have to emphasize Jiva Mithya. That is the main thing. And nowhere you can find in Upanishad that the Jagat Mithya is written. And that is why Swamiji said, go back to Upanishad. Swamiji always emphasized Upanishad. So, here, so the purpose or the function of tamas is to cover. There are different functions of tamas. Inertia, the help, contribute for panchikarana and the gross body. So all these are there. Along with that, it has the function of veiling power, avarana shakti. So it is said this veiling power is avarana shakti, which preponderates in ignorance. So how it relates with our ignorance? Ignorance of Jiva Mithya. So ignorance is this. Because of our tamas component, we cannot realize the Atman within. So because of tamas. So what tamas is saying? Tamas is covering our real nature. And what rajas is doing? In the next verse it will say, rajas is the Vikshama Shakti. Rajas is projecting something. if you see this diagram, you can see what is the function of rajas, the rajasic aspect. The function of rajasic aspect is karmendriyas and pranas, the energy. So everything we can get from the energy, the power, shakti. But don't mistaken those who are attending my Raja Yoga class on Thursday. Please remember, this prana is not Swamiji's Raja Yoga prana. This prana is Pancha prana. Prana, Apana, Vyana, Udana and Samana. This is the second rung of our 5 seats, the Pranamaya Kosha. But Swamiji's Raja Yoga prana is completely different. However, this is the Rajasic aspect. So Rajasic aspect is projecting which is not correct. Instead of that I mentioned the on the previous day, the particular Atosmin tad buddhi, that is the expression. Here it is said that we are considering something instead of another thing. That is, in Sanskrit expression is Atosmin tad buddhi. So that is what it is said. So in our aspect, if you see the Jivan Mithya and covering, so what is covering? The tamas. Because of tamas, the ego is completely covering our real nature, our real Atman. And we are considering that ego is I. I am the ego. That is what we are thinking. It is the cover. And what is the Bhikshipa Shakti? What is the function of Rajasa? The function of Rajasa is, it is projecting that yes, it is you. You are doing, ego is doing all the functions. So it is you. And Sri Ramakrishna, obviously, he gave an innumerable example of that. As for example, he said, in a palace, there are in the terrace of a palace, the outside, there are different faces of lions. And when there is a rain, the water is coming out from the lion's mouth. So people understand the water is coming out from the lion's mouth. But in the background, there is actually the terrace. The water is coming from the terrace, not from the lion's mouth. So exactly in the same way, what we think that we are doing, our existence as an I is the ego. That is our I-ness, I and mine, the personality. That is our real existence. But it is not. Behind that, beyond that, there is another existence, which is the real existence of Atman. There is no I-ness, only the existence, awareness, not the mind. So that we have to understand. That we have to. It is not very easy to understand this kind of feeling. That is why meditation and subtler mind is required to identify that kind of state. So meditation, etc., and logic. And logic and feeling. Logic also can take us to that point. So that is why we must have the logical thing, and then we have to understand that particular aspect. And that is obviously, you can understand, it is the feeling. It is the feeling, or it is the kind of awareness or experience, whatever name you can give it. So that is that. Now in verse number Rajasika, he is explaining the Rajasika aspect of it, which is the projection. Tirobhute, it is said, Tirobhute Shvatmani Amanotara Tejavati Puman. So Tirobhute means when it will go. Tirobhuto means when it will go. What will go? Sa Atmani, Swatmani, Amalotaro Tejavati. It is very pure. The pure and the awareness of Atman. When it is pure awareness of Atman will go, at that time what will happen? Puman means the human being. Mohat aham iti shariram halayati. They will understand by moha. Aham shariram halayati. I am the body. This kind of ignorance will come when the knowledge of Atman will go. At that time, it will come that I am the body. Tato kama krodha pravitivi omum bandhana gunai. As a result, what will happen? Tato, then kama krodha pravitivi omum bandhana gunai. These are bandhana. Bandhana means the bondage. These qualities, kama, krodha. So, from where this kama, krodha is coming? From rajas. From rajas, kama, krodha and all kind of bondages are coming. Param pikshepa akhya rajasa uru shakti pathayati. So this shakti, bikshepakya. So it is bikshepa, the projection. So this kind of projection. So how, if you think it very deeply, how this kama krodha is coming? It is from the bikshepa. So first, the real nature is covering. And this something is projecting which is not real. Instead of real, some other thing is projecting. And we develop kama, krodha, lobha, moha, etc. So try to understand, do we have any real basis of kama, krodha, moha? Because it is the projection. And what kind of projection? Which is not real. Instead of something, it is projecting another thing. Same. And raga, desha, all this kind of thing, from where it generates psychologically? From our ego. So ego is the projecting power which is covering. First, tamas is covering the Atman, and then ego is projecting as Atman. And kama, krodha, etc., are the projection of our ego, or egotism. Next day, actually, I have it. I have to search it, it will take time. Next day, I shall show you the Atman, ego, what is their function. So in the alienation, actually, I would show you what is the function of the ego, how ego is covering, projecting, and actually take us to illusion. How instead of Paramatman, we are considering ego is the real. And ego is becoming so powerful and bigger that we alienate. This is a tremendous psychological problem which is called alienation. even the thinkers, they think the real problem of Arjuna was existential problem, obviously alienation also. Alienation means it is coming out difference, what you are not. So your real identity and your false identity. So there is a gap between these two. This gap is called alienation. I shall show that alienation, how the alienation comes in our mind, and the impact of this alienation is helplessness, boredom, meaninglessness, all this kind of psychological problem. In our next class, I shall show you how the false ego is coming in a diagram. So that is what it is said. It is param vikshipakya rajas urushoktir bhathayati. This rajas become urushokti means this shakti becomes powerful, and as a result bhathayati, we suffer. So this is the example. This is verse number 140. Then 141. Moha moho graho grahasana galito atma magamana dhiyo nana avastham swayam obhinayam stad gunataya. It is said, moha moho grahasana golito atma avagamana dhiyo nana avastham swayam obhinaya stad gunataya. So actually, obhinaya means the acting. We are doing acting instead of other. And then apari samsari vishaya vishayapuri jananidho nimajjan majjayam bhramati humati kutshitagati. So it is coming from here. Vayam kutshitagati kumati means this trend of mind is kutshitagati. It is very ugly tendency of mind. What is the tendency? Coming into the clutches of avarana and vikshapa shakti. Our mind is going to a different trend. So see what language Shankaracharya has used. He said, it is kutshita gati, kumoti. And then moha moho graho grasana golito atma avagamana. So what is that? Moha moho graho grasana golito. The moha moho, the delusion, it comes. And atma avagamana. So it is going out of this atma avagamana. Avagamana is movement. It is going there. And that is because of why? Because of Mool Ajnana. From where it is coming? Because of Moola Ajnana. So from Moola Ajnana it is coming. And just like a crocodile, it is said, the man of perverted intellect, means this kind of moho, having his self-knowledge swallowed up by the shark of utter ignorance. As it were, the crocodile, it swallowed up their self-knowledge, and as a result, himself imitates or acting the various states of the intellect, as that is its superimposed attribute, and drifts up and down. And as a result, what happens? These people going up and down, those who cannot swim, if they fall in the water, what happens to them? Just gasping, tossing in the water. Habudu. So just like this, it is said this Nimochon Mojjayam, in the Sanskrit is expressed it. Nimojjo Mojjayam. They are tossing where? In the ocean of samsara, bhavasagar. So when they are going down, means for the bad karma they are going down, and when they are coming up, for the good karma they are coming up. So good karma and bad karma, they are just like this.
Bobbing up and down.
Yes, popping up and down. So that is their condition. So this is what in verse number 141. The man of perverted intellect, having his self-knowledge swallowed up by the shark of utter ignorance, himself imitates his real intellect, self-knowledge, that has been swallowed up. But this foolish guy, he is acting. He is saying, I. There is no basis of I, because self-knowledge has gone. Only saying I, the pseudo I. Everywhere is the pseudo I. Vintaji, would you like to have long?
She actually gave it to me.
Okay.
Thank you, sir.
I have another the very good lozenge also. It will stop.
I'm actually sucking on
This is very
the
good.
Ricola. Yeah.
Ricola.
I have those. Thank you so much.
I was just about to say that, Ricola.
Thank you.
So this is he himself imitates the various states of the intellect, buddhi, as that is its superimposed attribute, and it drifts up and down in the boundless ocean of samsara, full of this poison of sense enjoyment, now sinking, now rising, a miserable fate indeed.
So here he's saying even buddhi is not good enough, Mara.
No, because the self-knowledge has swallowed up.
So even if we take
So only the pseudo thing, because buddhi, how definitely the buddhi, but unless the self-knowledge is there, how it will be powered?
so it is useless.
Useless. And this with heartless, selfless person, they are,
So
they are doing obhinaya. it is said they are doing, yes, Swayam Abhinayam Stam. So they are doing Abhinaya. They are doing some drama. Etc. So what does it mean by moha? I shall a little bit explain. What does it in moha? The delusion, we say in this delusion. But the moha is this: if we like something, a tremendous attraction to that thing, we forget everything, all logic, all kind of the situation, environment, we forget everything. When this kind of tremendous attraction comes, this is called moha. So we forget everything. This is called moha. And why this moha is generated? This moha is generated because of avarana and vikshipta. This is the cause of that. And in all the three state, the waking state, the dreaming state, and the deep sleep state, he thinks that everything is mine, and he tries to command or exert his power to all the three states. So what is being explained here is for all the three states, because Atman exists in all the three states. We think it is only in the case of waking state, but it is not that. Something, when we have to prove the Atman, see, Atman must be proved in all the three states, then only it can be proved properly. So that is the verse number 141. Then 142. Bhanu Prabhasang Janito Abhra Pangting. So just like the clouds. So when the clouds come and it covers the sun, completely covers the sun, and whole sky, the cloud pervades. Exactly in the same way, actually the ego covers the Atman and spread it everywhere to exert its power. That is, it is said, as layers of cloud generated by the sun's rays cover the sun and appear solely in the sky, so egoism generated by self covers the reality of self and appears solely by itself. So this is the function of ego. One question to everybody. Do you have very clear idea of ego and egotism? Innumerable times I explained it. Do you have very clear idea what is ego and what is egotism?
And egocentricity.
And ego, that is, I don't want to make it complicated.
Self-centeredness.
Huh?
Please explain.
Please explain. I
Maharaj,
want.
I have a question.
Please raise your hand. Who wants the explanation? You.
Me also. I'd like to hear again, Maharaj.
I would request you to explain it.
I just want to hear again.
So, in very simple case, ego is the I awareness.
Yeah. Self-centeredness.
So only you are
Individuality.
aware. You are sitting here, you are aware. It is connected with nothing. So when ego is connected with few things regarding ego, it is a kind of feeling. You cannot intellectually understand it. So if I ask you, when you were in deep sleep, were you alive?
Mm-hmm.
Or now you are sitting, are you alive? What will be your question? Though it is a very funny question, but what will be your answer?
But the ego is not there in deep
How do you
sleep.
know that? My next question is, how do you know that you are alive?
Because there's something deeper than ego.
It's just intuitive, just comes out.
You're aware.
If I say that no, you are not alive, do you agree with that? Certainly not. So that intuition, that kind of feeling, which says you that you are alive, that is ego. And your whether you are alive or not, this only you can realize, not me. Only you can realize that, whether you are alive or not. I cannot realize that. You can feel it, you can experience it. Now, when this I awareness is identified with anything else, that will become egotism.
Mm-hmm.
What does it mean by anything else? It may be your thought, it may be your body, it may be any external things, it may be your role play in your life, it may be your designation in your office. Then only we can understand. So the I awareness you cannot realize or understand. Only its effect can understand when it will become egotism. Then you can understand.
Mm-hmm.
You can understand that whether you are a male or female. You can understand whether you are a doctor or engineer. You can understand whether you are a son or a friend. That you can understand. So when ego is identified with any kind of thing, that is becoming egotism, and you can understand the egotism. You can experience egotism. But it is a little bit difficult to understand and feel ego. So I think it is clear what is egotism and what is. So egotism is a mind. I is the ego, but mind is egotism. When it is identified with something, that is called egotism. So problematic. So ego is connected with which kind of ajnana? Mula ajnana, yes. And egotism is connected with Tula ajnana, yes. So, from where this moha is coming? This moha is coming from Mula ajnana. Sthula Jnana, we can control. If there is a called, the Shakshi Bhav, the witness attitude, if we have the witness attitude, or if we adopt the instrumental attitude, I am the instrument in the hand of God. I have nothing. What is doing, God is doing. So this instrumental attitude or the witness attitude, we can eliminate the egotism. But it is extremely difficult to eliminate I awareness because it is coming from here. It is coming from this big arrow, the solid arrow. Ahamkara is coming from here. And from Ahamkara, this has been separated. So this is called Mula Jnana.
So Maharaj, one question here.
Yes.
When you say, I'm not the body, I'm not the mind, when you say the I over here, is it stuck at the ego level or it is, you are trying to go beyond the ego level?
No, I am asking you this. You are asking about the I.
Mm-hmm.
So when you are meditating, you are trying to say, I'm not the body, I'm
Right.
not the mind, so that I.
So in the beginning, it is very clear in the beginning,
Mm-hmm.
we have to eliminate the egotism. So after some practice for some time, we can eliminate this I awareness. Only meditate on the I awareness. But go beyond that is very difficult.
But in the I awareness, Maharaj, is the I Brahman aware? What is the I then?
Ahamkara.
That is just aham.
This is individual ahamkara. The capital ego. Here in the solid arrow, there are 3 stages,
Yes.
which is not shown here.
Yes.
The first one is Ishvara,
Mahat and
the
aham.
second one is Mahata, and the third one is Ahankara. This I awareness is this Ahankara, Mula Jnana.
So it's still better than Buddhi and the other.
It is better than egotism, obviously.
Mm-hmm.
So how does it differentiate from consciousness then?
Oh, consciousness is Brahman only.
Even beyond
So
Ishvara.
the fact I am
You have
aware,
to go beyond Ishvara.
I am aware that I am aware, is that a form of consciousness?
Yes, a kind of. But that is also, in the realm of your mind.
That awareness is lower.
Yes. Only intellectually we can understand that I know that I am listening this one. So that may be the beginning of the practice.
Have to move beyond all that.
Oh, it is way, way beyond. Yes, what is your question?
It's I just realized that how this ancient knowledge relates to modern science, because in the last 20, 30 years, whatever, modern physics talks about matter and energy being interchangeable, like in quantum mechanics. I just realized that tamasic aspect represents the physical matter, and
Maybe
rajas.
there are a lot of scientists, those who are trying to pull something and connect something. I do not fall in that
Yeah,
category.
but like the
So
rajas.
my point is very clear.
Mm-hmm.
My point is this: the science, whether it is modern science, whether it is ancient science, whatever may be the thing, science is trying to explore the objective world.
Right.
But spirituality is trying to explore subjective world.
Right.
So these are clearly two different paths.
Yeah.
Number one. Number two. Now the question is whether they will meet or not. Yes.
Right.
Swami Vivekananda said they may meet. The more quickly they meet, the more good.
Yes.
But I'm just saying is the concept of matter versus energy. It seems like the tamasic aspect is the matter,
These are all
and the
steps.
rajas is like the
God
energy.
particle,
Yeah.
the God particle,
Yeah.
they all are the different steps.
Yeah.
So they are trying to merge this kind of concept. You can explain it different ways.
Mm-hmm.
So quantum theory, it brought the spirituality and the science very close. And obviously the string theory, the God particle, they are also bringing it very close. But the point is, still now, long way to go.
Right.
We cannot say anything right now. It is good, those people are exploring that, but here we shall not spend our time by exploring science and spirituality.
Mm-hmm.
There are various people,
Yeah.
they are trying to explore that. But we are exploring spirituality and spirituality alone, and probably that path will also lead to the science in one day.
Yeah.
Who knows?
Yeah. No, my only comment was the rajas seems to represent energy, and the tamas represents the matter. So like you have matter, energy, and then sattva is the knowledge, and so so that's one way to think about
Yeah,
it.
you can explain
The- so-
whatever way you can explain it. It is only the explanation.
So like Raja Yoga is like the yoga of managing your energy, and then
So
the
Raja is
and-
questionable,
Yeah.
Rajas is energy or not.
and then Jnana Yoga is the yoga of knowledge, and then where would Bhakti Yoga fit in? That would also be under Sattva, right?
Well,
And Karma Yoga would be under the Rajas Yoga of
we
action.
can explain it in various ways,
Yeah.
whatever you like. But so any other question? Are you asking any question? No, yes.
Maharaj, I actually have a question
Huh.
that is related to ego or egotism.
No. These are two completely different
Yes,
things.
absolutely. So my question was, Maharaj, you mentioned that there are two different ways, which is one to have maybe mindset of instrumental, that I am like an instrument and whatever God is doing through me. Another one is a witness. Maharaj, it's like my personal confusion, you can say, Maharaj. Shamiji in one way is encouraging the youth, saying that one should determine what they need to do, what they want to do for a betterment, and you should think that I must do it, I can do it, and I will do it. I am capable of everything because God has given me everything. However, in the other concept of spirituality, if we are talking about egotism, we are saying that no, we shouldn't think about that we shouldn't have that arrogance, we shouldn't have that ahankar. So, Maharaj, I'm a little confused in that.
There is no point of confusion here. It is very simple, although it is not connected with that.
Yes, Maharaj.
So let me explain it. What we are studying, this is out and out philosophy. So this is a study. This is the academic pursuit. This is completely philosophical system. But what question she is asking, or if we go detail in ego and egotism, that is a kind of spiritual practice. That is a kind of psychological thing, that is a kind of spiritual practice. In philosophical system, you do not have any practice, you have study. But in spiritual thing, you have some practice. So please keep in your mind these differences. Now, for your answer is this. There are different approaches. This is not philosophical. Your question is not philosophical. Your question is spiritual. So there are some practices. What are the practices we can do for our spiritual upliftment? So according to the scripture and according to Swami Vivekananda, these are the 4 yogas. The 4 yogas are the techniques, are the skills to practice for spiritual enlightenment. Now there is Bhakti Yoga, there is Raja Yoga, there is Karma Yoga, and there is Jnana Yoga. And Swami Vivekananda said very clearly, either you will follow one or you can follow everything integrated way and attain the goal. So this is the path. We asked to our seniors number of times, not one time, number of times. And very clearly they said that although Swami Vivekananda said that either one yoga or the integrated yoga through which you can attain the goal, the seniors said that for one yoga it may be possible for Swamiji. For ordinary people, through one yoga, it is impossible to attain the goal. So for general people, ordinary people, it is integrated yoga. We have to combine all the yogas. That is for ordinary people. Now, in your question, and what we shall do, according to our mental setup, according to our mental trait, and even though it is not watertight compartment, so we have our mental trait, mental inclination, different in different times. Sometimes the bhakti is predominant. Sometimes jnana is logic is predominant. Sometimes we want to serve people or some who work. So in different times, different kind of mental inclination is predominant. So these are 2 different predominance of mind. Those who are emotional have bhakti predominance, for them instrumental. I am the instrument in the hand of God for them. But those who are logical, who said that yes, this is only the surrender, only the people, those who do not have any strength, they can only do that. If this kind of people, for them, yes, I can do that. So Girish Chandra Ghosh said that Mahamaya could not catch 2 disciples of Sri Ramakrishna. Everybody, Mahamaya caught everybody. But 2 disciples, Mahamaya could not catch. One is Swami Vivekananda. Mahamaya spreaded the net, but Swami Vivekananda became bigger and bigger and bigger. So Mahamaya could not find the bigger net to catch him. So I. And then Nagamashaya. So Mahamaya could not find the net, smaller net. So he was so humble that he became smaller and smaller and smaller and smaller. So Mahamaya could not find the smaller net to catch him. So these are 2 extremes of Sri Ramakrishna's disciple.
So the second one was a great bhakti.
Yes. So now there is no conflict between 2. Rather, they are supplementary. Any question from online?
Maharaj, is Atman the same as the eye awareness?
Yes. Atman is eye awareness, but not pure Atman. it is with sattvika coverings. Pure sattvika coverings. Any other question from online?
Maharaj,
Yes.
so in deep sleep, all our gunas do not work, right?
Yes.
And the vikshepa, does that project through dreams?
Yes, but in deep sleep, everything actually, the mind is not working. So everything is actually dismantled. All assembled to buddhi. The gunas are there, no doubt, but they are in the equilibrium state at that time.
So they are not doing any projection because you were
Yes.
okay. So does that to be in a certain gunas, is that coming from our previous samskaras that is putting us into
No, gunas are no. Gunas are not coming from the previous samskaras. Gunas are the primordial ignorance. It is the first, in the diagram, if you see Maya, that is actually the gunas. But when it comes to the samaskaras, then according to samaskaras, the predominance of guna increases. If you have a certain types of samaskaras, probably that increases the rajas or sattva or tamas. So it gives some influence to that.
but as we work, because it's constantly changing, through the day also. In the morning I could be something, in the afternoon the moods change.
Yes,
you know,
definitely,
we are
mood
thinking-
swings, yes.
So we are changing our gunas.
The
it's-
predominance, rather we should say, the predominance of gunas changes.
Okay.
Yes.
So that way we can work on ourselves and change our predominance.
Yes, but predominance is bad in any way. We should try
What you
to
concept?
we should try to bring them down to the equilibrium. That is the ideal state.
Okay. Thank you, Maharaj.
Okay, I think good night. Shanti, shanti, shanti.
Recording stopped.